Welcome. A different backdrop this week. We are in St. Mickens Church in Halston Street, and it's about 400 metres from St. Mary of the Angels Church, where the shrine of Padre Pio is here in Dublin. I was here before. You might remember going back to some of the first episodes of the English language pages of Padre Pio TV, and I was here and we recorded one of the Advent messages here. But this is from the other end of the church, and the old and ancient crucifix and the candles that generations of people have lit for friends, for relatives, for their own intentions. So it's a lovely, simple but yet very powerful backdrop that we find ourselves in this week here on Padre Pio TV. Another episode where we look at the messages of Have a Good Day, the words of wisdom, the words of encouragement from Padre Pio himself. This week is really very powerful. And like I can talk for Ireland, as the old saying goes, I can talk and talk and talk. But sometimes there are messages which I find easier to understand and easier to talk about, because I think everybody will resonate with this one. So here we go. Here's what Padre Pio says. The trials to which the Lord subjects you and will subject you are all signs of divine love and are jewels for the soul. Winter will pass and the never-ending spring will come, all the more rich in beauty as violent were the storms. Beautiful. The trials to which the Lord subjects you and will subject you are all signs of divine love and are jewels for the soul. Winter will pass and the never-ending spring will come, all the more rich in beauty as violent were the storms. That's very powerful. That's very, very current for the planet, especially for the crucified people of Ukraine, the crucified people in the Middle East, especially for people who are suffering great trials, especially for people, for example, in hospital. I spent a very powerful afternoon last week in the company of hospital healthcare professionals, nursing staff, medical staff, chaplaincy staff at the Children's Health Ireland Remembrance Book ceremony here in Dublin. I was invited by the chaplains of both the Children's Hospital in Crumlin and the Children's Hospital in Temple Street, where I meet them every so often. I am asked to come in with a relic of Padre Pio by families, and they reach out through the chaplains to me, and it's an absolute honour to be able to do that. It also keeps me linked in a bit when I was hospital chaplain myself a few years ago, back in 2007 to 2010. But the chaplains who organised this Book of Remembrance ceremony invited me to be part of the clergy gathering that offered a blessing at the service. Now, it was a very poignant and very powerful ceremony, because the families, parents and families of children that had passed away, that had died, were there, and we were remembering them and commending them to the Lord and showing solidarity with each other. It was very, very emotional and very powerful. But they're going through great trials, and they're going through an awful crucifixion. And we are here as fellow Christians, as fellow travellers on the road, to show solidarity and to reach out to them and to help them to see, please God, that the Lord is with them, that the Lord will comfort and encourage them in ways that He only can, but also through us, through solidarity, through support. The wonderful ceremony was very, very touching, and it was life-giving, even though we were remembering, children who were, more than deserving of their whole life ahead of them. And for whatever reason, and we'll never understand perhaps in this world, for whatever reason, that it wasn't to be. And so I was moved meeting 2 or 3 parents who had lost a child. I almost couldn't look them in the eye because they have suffered greatly. But yet there was, the light of hope in their eyes. And there was the light of hope in all those people's eyes. It didn't deny the fact that they were going through a terrible cross of crucifixion, not at all. It was a goodness that was coming through, which was infectious to all of us. I really don't know. I don't know. Sometimes my nana used to say this, I don't know how I'll get to heaven, in a sense. When you look at the trials of people, and I look into my own heart sometimes, and the things I complain about, silly things, and then you look at so many people out there who have such great fortitude, and that fortitude and that goodness spills over, and how they reach out to others, and how they, support one another. Like in a way that the chaplains in hospitals minister to the patients and families, but sometimes it goes the other way. Their strength and fortitude ministers to us. When you see that level of goodness and kindness and selflessness, how people who have been through some of the worst trials are able to smile. And as I heard, and it's perennial, I've heard it so many times, and I've heard it from many people, Father, there's worse off than me. That just shows that the world is a beautiful place. Yes, there's terrible struggles and trials, but there's so much goodness in the world. The trials which the Lord subjects you and will subject you are all signs of divine love. Where is God but coming through the hearts of these people, shining his love on all of us, shining his love on others, not looking for any change, not looking for any return, but yet love is something when you give it away, you end up having more, as the song goes. Winter will pass. Let's hold on to that. The good times are coming. The tough times will be over. The winds and the rains and the storms will pass. Winter will pass, and the never-ending spring will come, all the more rich in beauty as the violent were the storms. Dear friends, we pray for people who have children in hospital. We pray for people who are going through bereavement. We pray for people who are going through, a rough, tough time. We ask the Lord, through us, to throw our arms around them. We ask the Lord to help all of us as true Christians on our way to the kingdom together, to reach out and to support one another, especially those who are in most need. We also ask for a meeting of hearts and minds, especially in the really difficult areas that we find ourselves facing out there, and also, we pray for peace with justice in those places which need so much peace at this time. We pray for the intentions of Pope Francis. We pray through the intercession of Padre Pio, Saint Nican, Saint Francis of Assisi, and our Blessed Lady of Graces, the Queen of Peace. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.